From a very early age, most children engage in some form of spontaneous vocal behavior or even some echoing. This babbling is the very beginning of language development. Each sound your child makes provides an opportunity to shape communication. Much of the child's spoken language develops by imitating or echoing the speech sounds made by others. Many children with autism require specific teaching to learn to imitate the speech sounds you make. In this lesson, we will cover the basic steps for teaching this skill. Pay attention to your child's spontaneous vocal behavior so you know what sounds she makes on her own. This allows you to choose target sounds that she already knows how to produce. This makes it easier for her to echo your sounds. Make sure you have an effective reinforcer. Remember, your child is going to require a paycheck for this difficult task. Then, use shaping to reinforce sounds that are similar or close to the sounds you're making. Gradually require your child's sounds to be even more similar to your sounds before providing reinforcement. This process generally takes a lot of time and patience. It's often best to build it into other fun activities, such as when you're snuggling on the couch or when she wants you to tickle her. Always try to make it fun and avoid pressuring her. If she doesn't make the sound you're looking for, simply don't give her the reinforcer and try again another time. Parents of children with limited vocal communication skills worry about what the future holds for their child. When their child's young, just 2 or 3, parents have hope that their child's speech will eventually come. But as their child gets older, they start to wonder if he will speak at all. They are unsure of what they can do. While we can't predict a child's communication abilities, there are steps we can take to encourage this development. This lesson will focus on encouraging the vocal sounds, words, and communication your child uses every day. Make a list of all the sounds your child is currently making. Make another list of items or interactions that your child enjoys. Then begin by giving your child a reinforcer whenever he makes vocal sounds. This might be a quick interaction like tickling him, or he might need something a bit more tangible like a favorite snack or toy. Next, you will shape the sounds he's making into words that include those sounds that he's already making. And finally, you will shape those words into vocal imitation. Don't worry if you don't know how to do all this yet. Just remember to make this fun and enjoyable for your child and avoid putting pressure on him to speak. Start to listen carefully to the speech sounds your child is already making. This could be humming, babbling, or even parts of or whole words. On a piece of paper, whiteboard, or your cell phone, make a list of everything you hear. Later, this will help you decide which words you might be able to shape those sounds into. While you're at it, make a list of your child's favorite things, including foods, toys, items of special interest, and interactions. You will use some of these items for reinforcers through the rest of the process. Try to think of the things he likes that are quick and easy to deliver and that disappear quickly or that you can control easily, such as tickles, bubbles, pieces of cereal, fruit, or balloons flying around the room. Even if you can't easily take the item away, add it to the list anyway. Now that you have a better idea of what sounds your child makes, and items, activities, and interactions that might be motivating to him, it's time to just play with your child. Sit wherever he's most comfortable, such as on his bed or on the floor. Keep some of his favorite things you listed in the last step next to you within easy reach. If your child prefers not to sit, that's fine too. Put the things he enjoys up on a counter or shelf that's out of his reach, but easy for you to get to. Engage with your child in any way that he enjoys. If he likes you to follow him around the room, play with toys, read a book, or spin in circles, do those things with him. Avoid activities that include sounds such as TV or music because you want to be able to focus on the sounds he makes at first. Whenever he makes any speech sound, provide reinforcement in a way that he enjoys. Some children enjoy loud, excited praise, followed by quick tickles, bubbles, or a moment to play with a favorite toy. Other children respond better to a quietly stated, "Yes, great," and a gentle shoulder rub accompanied by one of their reinforcers. Remember to match your delivery of praise to what your child enjoys. Avoid startling him in your excitement. Many children enjoy when you imitate the speech sounds they make. Try this throughout the day to see how he reacts. If he responds negatively by pushing you away or becoming agitated, stop and try again another time. If he has a limited reaction or a positive reaction, continue to do this periodically, as though you were having a conversation with him. Provide extra encouragement and reinforcement anytime your child makes a new sound. The goal is to gradually expand the different speech sounds and the frequency of those sounds throughout the day. If your child makes a lot of speech sounds throughout the day, you're ready to start the next step in the process, shaping those sounds into words. Shaping is a process of reinforcing smaller steps to your end goal. As your child develops more speech sounds, start reinforcing only those sounds that are closer to words than the previous sounds. For example, you want to shape the word muffin, but your child currently only makes the sound. Reinforce the sound at first, but as soon as you hear him make the m sound, give him all sorts of reinforcement and stop reinforcing the sound. Then you will listen for him to say the muff sound. Reinforce that sound and stop reinforcing the m sound. Finally, you will listen for the muffin sound, even if it's not perfect, and provide reinforcement for that. The steps don't need to be as clearly defined as in this example, but what you're looking for is continual, gradual progress toward your end goal. If at any point he says the full word or comes very close, give him extra reinforcement. Every child develops and progresses at their own rate. Don't get discouraged if this process takes a long time. Just continue to provide reinforcement for sounds that are closer and closer to words. Choose those speech sounds that are somehow related to things he enjoys and reinforce those sounds. For example, if he likes bubbles and says "bah" at any time when you're blowing bubbles for him, respond by saying, "Yes, bubbles, that's right." Then blow even more bubbles in just the way he enjoys. Pause in blowing bubbles and say "bah" and wait and see if he imitates your sounds. If he does, blow those bubbles right away. If he doesn't, say "bub" again and wait. If he still doesn't say it, continue to wait expectantly for him to make the "buh" sound again. If he doesn't make the sound but indicates that he wants you to blow bubbles in a different way, such as pulling your hand or pointing to the container, go ahead and blow a couple of weak bubbles for him. Then repeat the process, each time pausing to wait for him to speak. Now that your child's making more sounds and maybe some word approximations, it's time to use the same process to get your child to imitate or echo your speech sounds. This is an important skill because it can grow his vocabulary much more quickly once he understands what you want him to do. Teaching him new communication skills becomes much easier and faster once he's able to imitate the sounds and words you make. What you want is for your child to hear you say a word or sound, such as cup, and then repeat the exact word or sound you made. The process is essentially the same as with the other steps. Let's review them. First, identify the words or sounds he's making and the reinforcers you will use. Make one of the sounds and wait for him to repeat it. If he makes the sound, provide reinforcement. If he doesn't make the sound, repeat the sound and wait. Repeat this process until he makes the sound. If you have tried 3 times and he still hasn't made the sound, don't give him the reinforcer, but move on to a different activity. Avoid putting pressure on him to repeat you. Now let's take a look at an example. Kristen has decided to work on teaching her son Samuel to imitate her speech sounds. She hopes that this will help expand the sounds and words he makes. She begins by making a list of all the sounds she hears him make each day. Then she makes a list of his favorite toys and activities that she might be able to use as a reinforcer. Kristen sits on the floor with him with his favorite train set. Whenever Samuel makes speech sounds, she cheers and gives him a train to push on the track. As the train comes around the track in front of her, she playfully scoops it up. Then, when Samuel makes another speech sound, she gives him the train again. She does this for countless hours, gradually shaping the types of sounds he's making. Next, Kristen plays with Samuel on the trampoline. She wants to work on teaching Samuel to imitate her speech. So while holding his hands, she makes a sound that she has heard him make frequently in the past. Mmm. When he makes the sound, she starts to jump. Samuel laughs and giggles. Kristen stops jumping and repeats the process. They continue to play this way, with Kristen making a variety of different familiar sounds and Samuel imitating them. One day, while getting Samuel's dinner ready, Kristen says, "French fries," as she places his plate in front of him. Out of the blue, Samuel says, "Eyes!" Kristen is so excited that she cheers and quickly tickles Samuel. He smiles and looks at her as if to say, "Oh, is that all you wanted?" Remember, each child grows and develops at his own rate. For many children, this process is slow and somewhat tedious. Just keep trying. If your child struggles with echoing your sounds and words after you've gone through the process for several weeks or even a month, try different reinforcers. Often finding new foods, activities, and toys your child is interested in sparks the motivation you need in your child. If these new reinforcers don't motivate him to imitate your speech sounds and you have been consistent in following this process, switch to teaching him motor imitation and requesting. Children who have difficulty learning to imitate speech sounds may be more successful at it once they develop motor imitation and requesting skills. Once he learns how to imitate your actions and ask for his favorite items, come back and try to teach him to imitate your speech sounds again.